Hi, I'm Adam Landrum, and I am the founder of Made to Matter, where we focus on helping men discover and courageously live their purpose in the second half. So glad that you joined me today. And today, what I want to talk about a concept that after coaching many men around this idea of purpose, I just saw percolate, and it's the concept which I'm coining universal purpose. So, what is a universal purpose? My theory in general is this: a universal purpose is something that we all have and we can all relate to, and it's really just two different flavors of this purpose, and we usually resonate to one or the other. Some can resonate to both, but let's just go with one or the other right now. And the idea is, do you resonate with the idea of having a world focus when it comes to purpose? Like you want to change the world, you want to make a dent in the universe, and certainly a lot of us have that focus. A lot of us have that desire to influence and make an impact on the world in a big way. The other universal purpose is an individual focused purpose. We're more interested in impacting people's lives one on one and helping people, helping them get better on one on one. So, on one hand, it's world, it's systems, it's causes, it's maybe founding a company to make a difference. On the other hand, it is meeting people where they're at, one on one, or in small groups, and helping those people improve and impact their lives. Now, both of them had the same um, elements, if you will, and that is, and I've heard this over and over again. What is rooted in purpose is, hey, I want to make the world a better place, or I want to help people be their best versions, right? And so it's about impact, and almost all of us have this desire and this drive to make an impact. We want to make a contribution with our lives and with the gifts and the talents that we have been given. We want to use those to make an impact on the world or on individuals. All right, so I have I call it a sort of a cheesy analogy, if you will, but it's effective. And the first time I heard it, I said, "Oh, that's good, but that's sort of cheesy." I'm going to share it anyway. A man and a woman, right? A couple. They're walking on the beach. And as they're walking, they notice there's a starfish that has been washed up, and they're like, "Oh, that's sad." And then they notice another starfish has washed up, and again, and that's sad. And they keep on walking, and then they notice more and more and more. And eventually, the woman starts stopping. She's picking them up, and she's putting the starfish in the ocean, and she takes another and another in the ocean. And her husband eventually looks at her after she does yet another one, and he says, "Honey," he goes, "there's so many. Like it's just not gonna matter." And she looks down in her hand. This is the cheesy part where I whisper, and she says, "It matters that this one." Right? It matters that this one. Actually, when I heard that story the first time, I sort of got teary eyed. Right? It matters that this one. Right? And so you could say her purpose is individual focused. She wants to help and is willing to help that one person, that one, in this case, animal that needs help. Well, let's just say the story goes on. I'm adding this now, but the husband goes and he says, "You know what? This is a problem. All these starfish are dying," and so he goes and he rents some two bobcats, and he makes some contraption like a net that can scoop them up and not harm them. And then he just does the whole beach, and he gets thousands of starfish, and he drives the bobcats into the ocean, and he releases them, and he created a way to solve a big problem, right? And so one is not better than the other, because what his solution can do is, like, when there's a big starfish problem, he has a system that can go help in a big way. But starfish, they're washed up on the beach all the time, and we need more people like his wife who will stop, bend down, pick that starfish up, and put it in the ocean. We need both. We need the individual focused person as well as the system oriented thinking person. So when we talk about universal purpose, right, it is this idea: we all want to make an impact. We all want to make the world a better place. We want to make people better versions of themselves. And it oftentimes comes out of a need of something that was lacking in our life, lacking in our childhood, that says, "Hey, that was important to me and I didn't get it. And I want to make sure that the world has it. And so therefore, This is my purpose, is to make sure that the world has what I didn't get. That's a different podcast. That's a different subject. But I think that's what's driving us, or that's the drive behind this world focused versus individual focused universal purpose. All right. So once we have the universal purpose, and I'm just going to tee up what we'll talk about in another episode, is then we start looking at our own unique purpose. We start personalizing this. And when I say personalizing this, what do I mean? I mean, again, we're looking at our talents, our gifts, our strengths, our passions, even our personality, experiences and circumstances. And we start to see that we are uniquely made to execute, to contribute to that purpose of either impacting individuals or impacting the world. And when I say unique, I don't mean of the 8 billion people that you are the only one with that particular ability, that superpower. No, I have met many people who seem to be cut from the same cloth, that want to help men or want to help people live a more fulfilled life. I just happen to zero in on second half. I happen to zero in on men, but they want to help people live a more fulfilled life, and they're gifted in similar things that I am. They're very discerning. They can see the big picture. They can help put an action plan together. They can help hold people accountable and help them get traction so that they can achieve that life. Again, I've met many people, and I'm like, are we brothers? Should we do a 23andMe like DNA test? Like what's going on here? So when I say unique, I'm talking unique out of 8 billion. You're still going to share that, but it's going to be you. It's going to be that universal purpose. And yeah, you probably won't meet a ton of people like you. The world needs you. They need you to do your purpose. We want you to do your unique purpose, because there are very few of you who can carry it out like you can. And so we need your superpowers. We need you to inject them into our society and our families and our teams, and bring your gifts to the table. So universal purpose, don't bang your head. You don't have to bang your head against the wall about purpose in general. What you can do is say, hey, you know what? I do want to make the world a better place, or I do want to make people better. And how do I want to do it on a world stage, on a big stage, or do I want to do it on an individual stage? And that will help you. And the other thing I want to talk about real quickly, I was about ready to close, but I just remembered and thought of this. There's the capital W world, and there's the little w world. Okay. I think in this day and age, bigger is better, right? This grandiose idea, like you can't do a startup without it being $1 billion startup. It has to be this huge smashing success. Well, what's wrong with a couple $1 million startup or business, a startup that turns into that, or 10 million or 20 million or 100 million? I mean, that's not too shabby of a startup, right? So, and I think we do this with impact too, and purpose. And we go, if I'm not changing the world, then it's not worth pursuing. And I don't believe that at all. And here's the reason. Let's think of your world, not the entire world. So define what your world is. Your world it might just be your family, or just you and your friends. Your world might be your neighborhood, or, well, let's say it's your community or your church, or where you work. Your world might be the city you live in, or maybe it's even the county or the region or the state or the region. I mean, sure, it might become national, and okay, it might become international. But the idea is, let's be concerned about making an impact first in our world before we go worrying about the whole world. And so that's just a distinction I want to make, is let's not get hung up on the world. It's like it's like either it's all the starfish or one starfish. No, it doesn't have to be that way. It can be one beach. You're going to help save that one beach. There are plenty of beaches, and other people can handle those beaches. So keep that in mind. So I want to encourage you. You do have a purpose. You can know your purpose. First, start and just ask yourself, hey, what's my universal purpose? World focused or individual focused? And I think that will help you on your way to defining what ultimately will be only your unique purpose.